So we have the ribbon as I was talking about here. The nice thing about the ribbon is as you go from program to program, there are similarities in the ribbon. Things tend to be in the same location. So while it's different from what you're used to from 2003, as you work from Excel, Word to PowerPoint, things will show up in the same general area. For example, paste. What they've done is they've taken items that are used most frequently over the course of people using Office 2000, Office 2003. Microsoft used consumer feedback to say, what are the things that people use most often? Let's make those things very quickly accessible so that you don't have to click through a bunch of menus to get to things that you use all the time. Ribbon's made up of 3 parts in order to do this. You've got tabs, groups, and commands. So number 1, you have the tabs. So we're used to have file and what else used to be across the top? View, edit. Those are your tabs. And then within your tabs, you have groupings. So here you have your font grouping. Number 2 is your font grouping. So all the things in that group are fonts. And then inside that, you have commands, your individual buttons. Many of these buttons will look familiar to you. They're buttons that were there before. But they've been grouped together. So as you would click across Home, Insert, Page Layout, your different tabs across the top, you'll see different sets of groups based on those areas. So in Word 2007, what they're using here, the Home tab, you have the commands people use most often together. Paste tended to be the number 1 item that people used in their research. So as we go through these, you'll notice that paste actually is in the first position. That's what people tend to use a lot. In your fonts, you tend to bold, you tend to italicize, underline. Those things get used quite often, so they put them in together on the ribbon. Here we have a side-by-side comparison of Word and Excel. Where I was talking about, you'd see things that are very, very common. Both of these, you've got your paste, you've got your font size. So as you move from program to program, things will be where they were in the other program. Commands that when you need them. Instead of putting commands on the ribbon that you don't need because you don't have that item in there, it'll look at what you have on your sheet. So for example, if you don't have a picture in your Word document, it's not going to give you the format picture things in the toolbar. In the past, those would sit up there. Yeah, you didn't use them. You didn't need them because you never put pictures in it. Well, what Office 2007 will do is once you insert a picture, it says, oh, you've got a picture in there. You're going to need access to the format toolbar for the picture, the format ribbon. So it'll put that in once you have that. It can be very confusing because if you don't have a picture, you're going, where's my format picture? It'll add it in there as soon as you insert it. So you'll notice in these groups that there'll be, occasionally you'll see this little button down in the lower right-hand corner. And that's the dialog box launcher. In many cases, this dialog box launcher, when you click on that, it'll pop up a dialog box that's very similar to the dialog boxes you used to see in 2003.